Sunderland via Chelsea. August 1975. We go back in time to when football hooligans was the norm. This visit to Wareside by 2,000 Chelsea Headhunters is met by solid resistance from the pre-Seaburn Casuals Sunderland hooligans. We let our friends tell the stories. Chelsea Headhunter Martin told us, "We had been relegated the season before into Division 1, now the Championship, and a whole new world appeared before us. Where we once had 1,000 headhunters going to places like Man City and Liverpool, we now had 2,000 to 3,000 going every away match. The violence was turned up a notch as we ran riot in this new league. Sunderland away was the first match of the season, and we filled 2 football specials, so around 2,000, mostly lads. Others went by coach and cars, so I reckon there was about 3,000 Chelsea for a long trip to the northeast. We hadn't played them for over 5 years, and that would have been 69-ish, so a bit before hooligans became the norm. But I had heard they had a decent firm, and had never been turned over at their own ground, apart from Newcastle once a few years earlier. Anyway, we arrive at Seaburn station, and a large police escort is waiting for us. The coppers are typical northern monkeys, telling us we're going to get clobbered and all that. Unfortunately for them, their escort is soon breached as we attack the first Sunderland pub along the route to the ground. The Sunderland fans tried to barricade the pub doors, but Eccles and his crew smash open the doors and attack inside. The Sunderland fans run out the back exit after a brief but violent fight inside. The cops have appeared and bundled us out the back into some terrace streets and heading for the ground. We turn a corner and a different Sunderland mob about 600 strong appear. And so we just walk towards them, and they towards us. As we meet, a roar goes up all around us, and another Sunderland mob appear from the alleyways at both sides of us. A major battle kicks off with fists and boots flying. The Sunderland mob at the front don't press home their advantage though, so Eccles directs everyone to stand, then push forward as our rearguard are battling the Sunderland ambushes. The mob at the front look like they're going to stand and fight, but suddenly turn and run. Hundreds of them running down this street. Well, we chase after them for about a mile till we reach the ground where they mingle in with other Sunderland near the Roker End entrance. They now have a massive mob appearing to face up to us, so we steamed into them, forcing some of them over the turnstiles and into their section of the away end. We try to follow, but the old Bill have suddenly appeared and blocked us off, forming a line between them and us. We mock them for not having the balls to have a go at us, what with their earlier ambushing gone astray. The police force us away and into the away fans sections where we meet up with the other Chelsea fans. A thin blue line of police have separated our fans from the Sunderland firm, but that doesn't stop several surges which break police lines and ends up with Sunderland backing further away from us. We lose the match, and towards the end, all Sunderland's fans exit from not only the end we are in, but also their home end opposite. When we look out of the stand down towards the car park, it looks like the whole of Sunderland is waiting for us. Must have been 4,000 waiting for us. A copper winks and says, "Now you're in trouble. Only firm to have taken liberties like you and Newcastle, and this is what was waiting for them too. Good luck. There's no police escort back to the station. You're on your own, lads." And off he wanders. A young Chelsea fan issues us with a Churchillian speech. "Look at them wankers," he says, "waiting to take on the mighty Chelsea. Are you going to let them boast to their grandkids in 50 years' time that they battered the famous Chelsea Headhunters? No, you are not. We are Chelsea." And with that, we all surge forward and out into the throbbing mass. A gap appears between us and a slight pause. So Babs and Eccles give the command to push forward. We tear into them, and they once again back off under the onslaught. We pass their home end, the Fulwell, where thousands more are waiting, but they don't want to know. We head for the station, but on the main road, another massive Sunderland firm are waiting with bricks and bottles. They have planned this. It would appear as they have now split up our 2 main firms. We are still 500 strong, but there are thousands of them. It's beginning to look like a battering, as Sunderland's firm swoop in for the kill. Chelsea boys are going down all over the place and it looks bleak. We run down an alleyway and spread out waiting for another onslaught, but Sunderland can't get too many down the alleyway because of the bottleneck. Maybe 20s and 30s of them, still enough to finish us off. It's looking bleak and we're still retreating, but just then, a massive roar from behind the Sunderland lot. Our other firm has regrouped and come in behind the Sunderland mob, who now panic and scatter back out into the street, where they are legged up the road. Phew, just in time. We dust ourselves off and head for the train station. Once on the train, we laugh and chat about the day's events. But in another twist, as we pass under a bridge, all the windows are smashed in. Another ambush by these pesky Waresiders. Glass shatters everywhere, and people are cut and bleeding all over the place. The train carries on as if nothing has happened. We arrive back in London several hours later, bloodied and bruised, but happy with another great result. This time at a very tidy mob indeed. I don't think many will go there and take liberties like we did. But it was close, very close. Great days. As you can imagine, the return fixture at the bridge was a very tasty affair, with revenge on everyone's minds. Another story perhaps for another day. Sunderland Seaburn Casuals Stewart told us, everyone and their dog were out for Chelsea that day. Hardly anyone brought fans to Roker in those days. We'd been in Division 2 forever, it seemed, so we were used to playing the Forests and Cardiffs, who didn't really show to be fair. I think Millwall bought a few, and Middlesbrough tried it on but got battered, so it really was an event knowing Chelsea were going to show up big time. We weren't disappointed. There were thousands of them. 2 or 3 specials, cars, vans and coaches. I was at the ground when I first heard they had done the pub, so we waited for them to come to the ground. Massive trouble on the way apparently led to the police escort disappearing, which often happened with away fans. But Chelsea were different. They just walked down the road in formation like an army. I thought, this is going to be interesting. As they reached the Fulwell end, a mass fight erupted, with Sunderland forcing them down the road and towards the away end, Roker end. During the match, there were major battles erupting all over the place, with small pockets of Chelsea getting battered by Sunderland's entire city, or so it seemed. At the end of the game, the entire Sunderland gangsters were waiting for Chelsea, and they absolutely battered them. Fair play to Chelsea, who were very game, but the numbers were too much for them. They were under massive pressure all the way back to Seaburn stations. Out of the 2,000 who arrived at the match by special, there were no more than 500 who made it back to the trains. I can only imagine what happened to the rest. I was also told that the coaches were ambushed by one of Sunderland's youth firms, and Chelsea fans were pleading for mercy. None was given, apparently. Just to finish Chelsea off, their train was ambushed at the bridge and looked like it had been in a war zone, as did the Chelsea Headhunters. I bet they remember the day they came to Roker, that's for sure. Unfortunately, we had to go down to Chelsea for the return fixture, which was a nightmare, with thousands of them waiting for revenge. I'll tell you all about it, next time maybe. We thanks Martin and Stuart for their recollections. It's clear that a major battle's ensued, and the winner is not clear. I'll plump for a score draw given the distance and size of the home firm. I think Chelsea did well to not get slaughtered, but that's Chelsea for you, ever game. Please like our video and don't forget to subscribe. It always helps our channel grow.